Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another Jose Unleashed. Let's get this party started, guys. Hope you guys are ready to have some fun and enjoy the insanity. And welcome back to another.
I'm not fucking leaving. You know what?
That's right.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on.
That's right.
This is my home.
That's right.
They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball.
Get me out of here. The National fucking Guard!
That's right.
That's a scam. Be connected.
All right. Let's get into it. Let's get into the show, guys. I know you guys ain't here to listen to music.
What am I gonna do?
All right, guys, welcome back to another show, another live stream on this channel, on Jose Unleashed. Today, we're going to be talking about Disney. Yeah, that's right. Now, we're not going to be doing the regular old content on Disney these days. I know a lot of people out there, they're basically always, in recent times, that a lot of them are complaining about, the woke stuff and how crazy, Disney has gotten, with all that. We're not going to be talking about that. We're actually going to be sharing, wonderful memories of a time in the past. I know, look, I'm glistening. I didn't get my, the makeup girl didn't show up today. So unfortunately, I'm a little extra greasy. More greasy than usual. So, hope you guys are, okay with all that. So anyways, it always reminds me of every time I'm a little extra greasy. I remember back in the day watching Married with Children, and I remember that Bud was helping Al, change the oil on the car, and they needed a little, so Ed. Ed O'Neill, whatever. Anyways, Al Bundy, basically went to check the oil in the car, and when he checked, it's like, oh, we're missing a little bit of oil. And then he got like an oxy pad. You remember those oxy pads? And he put it on Bud's face, and then he just kind of squeezed it inside the motor, and then he checked. Okay, now we're good. Anyways, so shout out to all that. Mickey Mouse coin in the house. Hope you guys are ready. Invested in Mickey Mouse coin and those Disney dollars. Disney stocks. Yeah, but anyway, so we're not going to be talking about all that. There's plenty of channels, talking about like how Disney sucks and Disney's woke and Disney's whatever, bro. Who cares, okay? In fact, the reason I chose this topic, to talk about today was because, well, first of all, I'm always kind of like last minute, figuring out, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? I have no idea what to talk about. And then I start kind of just mulling through my brain, kind of checking the database, and then I still can't find anything because it's pretty empty up in there. So, but actually, YouTube recommended me. I think it was YouTube or me. I was talking to my friend Hanson out there. Shout out to Hanson. Shout out to you, brother. But the topic of Disney came about. I think the Disney parks. Something about Disney parks came about, and then I saw a video that was recommended to me by YouTube where it was basically someone that went to Disney, to the Orlando Disney park recently, and how expensive everything had gotten. And there's a bunch of channels on YouTube out there that show people that go to Disney parks on a regular basis, and they live stream from the Disney park. So they're live streaming from the Disney park, or they have videos just talking about Disney, or the Magic Kingdom. Well, not the Magic Kingdom. It's a Universal Studios or whatever. All the theme parks that are out there in the Orlando area. For some of you guys that know and don't know, I'm from Florida, so originally from Miami, born and raised down there. So Disney and the Disney parks in the Orlando area was like a getaway for us. You know, again, if you know anything about Miami, you know, Miami is pretty crazy. In fact, it's so crazy that the new Grand Theft Auto, the GTA game that's coming out next year, is based out of Miami. All right. Miami is still just as insane as it always been. And I remember even when I went to visit Las Vegas, I was like, Las Vegas is like a Disney-mified, you know, Disney version of Miami. Miami is off the walls insane. You know, Las Vegas, you know, it's all right, whatever. Compared to Miami, it's like, whatever, you know. But anywho's, I digress. So growing up in Miami and living in Miami, well, obviously, you know, when you're on a vacation, you always kind of want to go to where you've never been, or how do I say it? You want to get away from what you got to deal with on a daily basis. So in Miami, you know, you're dealing with the insanity that is living down there. So to get away from that, well, Disney, Orlando, because again, it was only a stone's throw away, basically like a 4-hour drive north to go to Orlando. And, you know, you were basically in a different world. You know, whether, you know, you were in the rural Florida, you know, the real Florida area, or you went to the theme parks, you know, like Disney or, you know, was it Universal Studios or what else did they have out there? You know, whatever. You know, just Orlando, just hanging out in Orlando, you know, Kissimmee, you know, for anyone that knows any, you know, the area fairly well. So, for example, I never stayed in a hotel in Orlando until later on when I could afford it. But for the most part, when I would go with my family, you know, or, you know, when I was really, you know, again, just first, you know, got my car, first taking trips, you know, with my girlfriend or whatever, we used to go to Disney or to the area, but we used to always stay in the Kissimmee area. Kissimmee, Florida. I don't know, Kissimmee, whatever. Anyways, and that area was just notorious, you know, for offering, you know, very, very cheap, you know, very affordable, you know, accommodations and food and everything. So long story short, you know, you didn't need much money to enjoy, you know, the whole Disney area and the whole area, you know, everything that they had to offer up there. So a lot of us, you know, we would just go up there, you know, get a cheap hotel room for like, I don't know, $20 a night in Kissimmee, and then make our way to downtown Disney or, you know, the Disney parks, which again weren't that expensive, and all this other stuff. So, you know, long story short, you know what I mean? What happened was that, like, I was watching that video that I told you about, you know, again, like a few days ago, I was watching this video of this guy that went to Disney. They used to go to Disney a lot and have a YouTube channel talking about that. But because of the pandemic and all that good stuff, you know, he didn't go anymore. And then basically he went recently again. And when he went recently, it was crazy expensive. It was basically, you know, when he kind of, you know, he did a total. You know, he started like kind of like whatchamacallit, like taking note of everything he was spending, you know, for one typical day. You know, again, if you're gonna go out there and do the typical vacation, the typical stay at Disney, you know, maybe stay at a Disney park or a Disney hotel, you know, and buy a few things, you know, anyway, just go through the whole thing. Anyways, it was around $1,000. I was like, $1,000 a day? That's crazy. You know what I mean? That was very, very crazy expensive. And then, you know, basically saying, yeah, just a few years ago, it wasn't that expensive, and so on and so forth. Was it 1,000? No, I think it was like $800. I don't know, maybe Hanson, because I remember talking to him about this. I think he remembers. Hopefully he does. I don't know. I don't remember. But I think it was like $800. Whatever, man. It's expensive. Okay? Because I was thinking to myself when I was watching this, is like, well, wait a minute. You know, like, I used to go out there, you know, with, you know, my girlfriend back in the day, you know, like 15, 20 years ago. And, you know, we would spend like what, $500, you know, $600 for a weekend, you know, like three days, you know, give or take, maybe 4 days, you know, go on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back Sunday night, you know, $500. And that was a lot of money. But still, that wasn't that long ago. And just, again, recently, this guy basically spent, I think, like $500, $600. Well, not recently, but like in 2019 or 2018, was spending like $500, $600 one day, and now it was up to like $800, $900 one day to just do like the typical vacation. So imagine you're going out there with kids, you know, and you're, you know, visiting Disney from Pennsylvania or Ohio or, you know, Iowa or whatever. Well, think about it. You're going to be there for like a week And if each day is like around $800, think about it, 800 times 6, that's 8 times 6, what's that? 6, 7, 36, 42, 48, like $5,000. Like $5,000, you know, for a vacation. It's like, bro, are you kidding me? You could take like a cruise to Morocco or France or whatever and still have money left over, you know, or come to Mexico and still have money left over, you know? So I thought it was crazy expensive. And then all of a sudden I started thinking to myself, oh, okay, I can talk about Disney. You know, we can talk about like my experiences at Disney, what happened at Disney. So, you know, back in the day, you know, not only was Disney, you know, a lot more affordable, but the fact that, you know, I even got thrown out of Disney one time, you know? Yeah, that's right. That's what we're going to be talking about today. You know, how I got thrown out of Disney. That's right. I've been thrown out of, you know, better places, by the way. I've been thrown out of a lot of places, right? So, you know, for those of you guys that don't know, you know, me very well, you know, this ain't my first rodeo. Bruh. So, I remember, it was a long time ago, you know, so like, the thing is, was crazy because, you know, I've been to Disney so many times and I've done so many crazy. Yeah, sorry, I had my mom's calling me. You know, she probably heard me say Disney one too many times. You know, and she's like, "Oh, you're taking us to Disney?" Anyways, so what was I saying? So yeah, I mean, you know, so I'll give you again just to go back to my Disney experiences. You know, most people probably never been to Disney, or if you've been to Disney, you've been there once. But again, as a Floridian, you know, we used to go there all the time, like literally all the time. Again, we live in paradise there. We live, you know, where most people go vacation. So if South Beach was my backyard and all the other Miami things were there because I'm from Miami, well, I don't want to vacation there. I mean, come on, I want to go somewhere else. So that's where I would always, you know, a lot of us would end up going to you know, Orlando area. Now, if we wanted a quiet beach experience, then we would just go to any other beach, you know, literally any beach outside of the Miami-Dade area, you know, it was great. But when we wanted to experience something new, something different, something fun, that's where we would end up going to, you know, the Orlando area. Because again, in the Orlando area, you know, not only did they have Disney World, and Disney had a bunch of parks, you know, a bunch of, you know, Disney-themed parks, you know, whether it was a Magic Kingdom or Epcot Center, which was my all-time favorite, or just a regular Disney World, or, you know, again, you could go to Universal Studios. I think today they got Legoland, they got Harry Potter World, they got, I don't know, I haven't been there in like 15 years or more. But long story short, you know what I mean? You know, that's where we would go to get away and experience something very different. And then, you know, it was affordable, okay? So that was basically, you know, our you know, getaway, or, you know, go-to getaway, all right? And I used to remember, you know, basically from the minute that I could drink and drive, I mean, not at the same time, sorry. From the minute that I could drive and then drink, was, you know, we would go to Disney a lot. So, you know, we would go with a pack of friends, you know, we would go, you know, with our girlfriends, you know, whatever. And we would go to Disney and just go crazy. Again, we would rent, you know, these hotel rooms that were like $20 a night. You know, we would go to the liquor store and stock up. We would go to Old Town, which was in Kissimmee, which was like a, you know, again, Old Town. You know, you can figure out what it was. You know, kind of like a, you know, an old timey themed area. You know, that was outside of the parks. It was just. Anyway, just, you know what? Maybe I should look up Old Town. You know, I give you guys a little bit of visuals. Okay, hold on a second. Let me do that while I talk here. Hold on. But anyway, so we would just go and then, you know, have fun. You know, and then, you know, eat a lot of McDonald's and Checkers or Rallies or Burger King or Sizzler. I used to remember Sizzler was the best spot because, you know, we didn't around that time. You know, late 90s, but not late 90s, early 2000s, you know, like around the time of the early 2000s, you know, Sizzlers, you know, they were already kind of going away. Perkins, you know, Perkins. By the way, we never went to Perkins. It wasn't until, what's his face? Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was doing his fun stuff at Perkins that we were like, huh, man, I guess Perkins isn't that bad. Actually, Perkins is pretty terrible from what I understand. It's like a step above Denny's and Waffle House or something like that. All right, hold on a second. Let me see if I can find Old Town. No, there we go. Okay, so you guys can get a little visual on Old Town. Okay. Okay, so this is Old. Hold on, let me. Well, that's fine. You can see there. Okay, so that's Old Town. All right, and that's like in the middle of Kissimmee. And so we would just rent a hotel, okay, around there for like $20. All right. And how can I? You see? Nice. By the way, it's a lot nicer today than what it used to be. Look at that. You see? So, you know, this is all free. So you could just go there, you know, like I said, get drunk, you know, walk around with your alcohol, you know, and enjoy Old Town and all the festivities. You see, they had like all kinds of amusement park rides and fun and, you know, whatever. Cool stuff, all right? You guys can see there. But yeah, so anyway, so that was the idea. You know, you go out there with a tight budget and then, you know, do things like, you know, go to Old Town. Look, a lot of times we would go to Orlando and never even go to the parks. The parks were just too expensive. So we would just go to Old Town. And there's like so many attractions in the Orlando area, the Kissimmee area for you and everyone to have fun in. So, all right, that's the visual there of Old Town. All right. But anywho's, so like I said, you know, go out there, you know, get our alcohol, you know, eat at, you know, McDonald's and Checkers or Sizzler. By the way, why did we love Sizzler? Because it was a buffet and it was terrible, but it was good. It was like good, terrible. By the way, let me ask you guys in the chat. Have you guys ever, let me see. I'm going to ask you guys a question. No, hold on. Have you ever been to Sizzler? Let me see. Oh, come on. Hey. See, that's why I need a producer, you know, to help me out with these things. Okay. Shout out to everyone out there. So anyways, have you ever been to Sizzler? Do you even know what Sizzler is? So anyways, so at Sizzler, for those of you guys that don't know, you would order like a steak. You know, I think it was like $20 or something like that. And then with that steak, it came with a free buffet. All right. And the buffet was just, you know, again, like think of, what are those buffets? Old, like Corral. What's that? What's something Corral? Golden Corral, but smaller. This is before Golden Corral and all these things were like, you know, all over the place. Okay. So this is like I said, like, you know, the precursor to Golden Corral. Okay. But better, okay? All right? So anyways, and so, you know, we would eat at these places, and it was just, again, to get away. So, again, Miami is Latino. Everything about it is, you know, again, Cuban, Latin America, the whole thing. So just us going to a place like, you know, Kissimmee, which is in the middle of Florida, with a bunch of white people eating white people food, you know, again, like really shitty mac and cheese, you know, really shitty steak, you know, having a really crappy buffet, you know, going to Old Town, you know, doing all these things. That was, my God, you know, might as well be going to Williamsburg, Virginia. You get what I'm saying? That was like, wow, you know, for us. So we would go out there and then again, you know, just have fun. You know, we would go and, you know, smoke weed, but, you know, we would kind of hide it, you know, have our liquor, but, you know, we would get like a bottle, you know, of something else, you know, kind of mix it with like, you know, put like, by the way, I don't drink this anymore, but like, you know, we used to put like Captain Morgan or something like that, you know, in a bottle of Coca-Cola, you know, and then just walk around with our Coca-Cola. Terrible. But this is like teenager stuff, you know, early 20s kind of thing. And so, again, there was just like a cheap vacation, cheap getaway, cheap fun. And, you know, that's what we would do. And then if we could afford it, or if we, you know, later on, you know, we were making a few more bucks, then we would go to the Disney theme parks and things like that. But still, kind of like in a tight budget. So, of course, you know what I mean? It was a different kind of lifestyle, different kind of like, you know, version of fun and all this other stuff. So, you know, eventually, you know, as we were getting a little older, you know, we could afford to now go to the Disney parks or Universal Studios, whatever, and partake, you know, not just on, you know, buying a ticket to go to the park, but, you know, partake, you know, with the things, you know, buy some food, you know, buy some merch, whatever. But, you know, we would still go with a lot of our, you know, what is it like, you know, what, the same thing we would do here at, you know, like Old Town or whatever, we would do there. So meaning, you know, we would sneak in some liquor, you know, we would sneak in some blunts, some weed, some whatever. And again, you know, I remember, you know, again, I remember very, very well, going to like the smoking section in Disney, like going to any Disney park, and they have like little sections where you can smoke, and going out there and lighting up a joint, because again, I would roll up joints, that would look like a cigarette. So I'm just there smoking, and even if they saw me on camera, even if Disney was spying on me, they had no idea, what I was smoking unless they could smell it. Okay. Which they really wouldn't, because it would be masked by a lot of people smoking cigarettes. But that's another thing too. When you're smoking a lot of weed, you forget that it smells a lot and that people could smell it around you. But again, you're so oblivious and drunk and high and all this other stuff that you just fucking smoke in the park, drink in the park, whatever. And the reason that we loved, going to a place like Epcot Center is because when you go to Epcot Center, you could drink in the park. They had alcohol there. Epcot Center was like the Disney park for adults, in a sense. By the way, before that, there was a place called Paradise Island, I think it was, which was, again, imagine Disney having a nightclub themed park, which, by the way, you could just go to South Beach and go to Miami for that. So we never really went to Paradise Island, that was like, anyways. So might as well just go to, Panama City Beach or whatever. Anyways, the point I'm making is that we would, go to Epcot Center. And the reason Epcot Center was cool is because if you know anything about Epcot Center is like a giant theme park, okay? And it had, instead of, okay, when you go to Disney, they have like Thunder Mountain. They got like It's a Small World. They got all these areas. And all these areas they have a ride, and it's like a theme. Okay, so in Epcot Center, there was no rides per se, but each pavilion was its own theme. But what made Epcot Center cool was the fact that each one of these pavilions was a different country. So, you would start off in Canada, then you walk over to Germany, walk over to France, walk over to Mexico, walk over to Morocco, walk over to whatever. Okay, whatever. But anyways, every time that you go to one of these new ones, they always had alcohol. Okay, so that was always great. You know what I mean? So depending on where you went, depending on the alcohol. If you were in the Mexican pavilion, you were drinking Mexican beer. If you went to France or Germany, you were drinking German or French wine, and so on and so forth. So, what I mean? It was great because we would just go to pavilion, and then, drink and drink and drink and drink again. And so by the time that we, again, got to a certain point, we were, kind of drunk, but it was all good. Now, what happened was that, like, believe it or not, even after going and being in Disney and all the parks throughout the years and always being drunk and high, smoking weed in the park, doing all kinds of things I shouldn't be doing in the park, I never got thrown out. I never got kicked out. I never got in trouble, which was kind of insane to me. It wasn't until one day, I remember specifically, I forgot how many years ago, but yeah, again, like 15 years ago, I guess. Anyways, I was with, my girlfriend at the time, and we were, at the park, and, we were going through Epcot Center, and we had a little bit too much to drink, and we got into a fight. I don't remember what the hell the fight was about. Those toxic relationships, you fight about whatever, and we were fighting. We fought, whatever. But what happened is that it's Disney. So, you might be at the mall, you might be in a public place, and you might get into a little fight with your, significant other, and it kind of like, you yell, whatever, get mad, stomp away, whatever, and then it would end. Well, that's not how it worked in Disney. I remember in Disney when we actually had a fight, like a yelling match, about whatever the hell we were talking about. Like not too long after, we kind of like said our piece, we yelled at each other. We had a bunch of security guards, a bunch of people that looked like basically Secret Service agents, and they just kind of came out of the bushes. They came out of nowhere, and they said, hey, you guys have to leave. And we're like, what do you mean we got to leave? What I go, no, you got to leave. So either you're going to do this the easy way or we're going to do this the hard way. So we're at Disney here. So, we want to try and maintain the peace and maintain the whatever. So, we're not going to force you guys out. But trust me, we seen you guys. I saw you smoking weed. I saw you guys getting drunk. I seen you guys fight, and that was the last draw. Okay, so again, we're going to do this the easy way. We're going to do this the hard way. So we're going to give you guys the option to walk out of the park on your own. Okay? And if you guys, walk out of the park on your own, we're not going to say anything. Everything's going to be fine. Okay? But if all of a sudden you veer off, okay, and you're not walking out of the park, then trust me, we're going to kick your ass out of here, all right? That's basically what they told us. And so, yeah, long story short, at first I didn't listen, and then basically I had a guy, kind of like strong arm me and be like, hey, this is the last warning, brother. You're going to get out of here? You're going to walk out of here on your own? Or are we going to be dragging your ass out of here? And I was like, oh, shit. I'm like, okay, all right, never mind. These big guys, like I said, Secret Service agent type looking dudes, Mickey Mouse's Secret Service agent. And yeah, long story short, they dragged us out of there. Now, again, they didn't necessarily drag us out of there. We went out the easy way, the good way. But I remember, and me and her, we got in such a big fight. We didn't, she didn't even want to talk to me, especially after, we got, when she got approached by the security, I got approached by the security. You got to get the hell out of the park. It was beyond embarrassing. It was beyond bad. And I remember she stormed out of the park. I had to storm out after her, obviously. And then, we got up to the parking lot. And I don't know if you guys ever been to Disney, but it's like the biggest parking lot you've ever seen in your life. And so not only were we pissed drunk, but once we got up to the parking lot, we couldn't find the car. And not only could we not find the car, but I didn't know where she was. She didn't know where I was. And by the way, this is a long time ago. This is before cell phones, okay? So we didn't have cell phones. So basically, I knew that she was out of the park because they kicked her out. And I knew I was out of the park because, well, obviously I was out of the park and they already kicked me out. And we were out in the parking lot and we were just trying to figure out how to get back to the car and find each other. Okay? Oh, my God. I'll never forget that. So anyways, but I remember it wasn't until, me and her got into a shouting match. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just like a shouting match, that's when we actually got kicked out. It didn't matter, throughout the years, again, we were drinking and smoking there on a regular basis and doing all kinds of other things. We would never get in trouble. And by the way, what do I mean by other kind of things? Again, we would be trolling or harassing the mascots sometimes. We would, again, be doing stupid shit that you do when you're in your early 20s. I mean, come on, give me a break here. But yeah, anyways, so we got kicked out of the park. And then not only did we get kicked out of the park, but then we spent hours not only trying to find each other, but find the car. And then once we did that, again, we were both pissed off. Okay, and we had to drive back to the hotel, and then again, just the whole weekend, the whole everything was ruined. Okay, believe it or not. Now, eventually, we kissed and made up. Everything was fine, but yeah, what I mean. It was not a fun experience, that day and during that whole time. So, it was kind of funny because I've been kicked out of many places, for acting a fool back when I was younger. But it was, it was really because I was acting a fool, getting into fights, doing a kind of drunk stuff or, things that you would do when you were in your early 20s, doing stupid shit. But that was I'll never forget getting kicked out of Disney because, one thing is getting kicked out of a bar, one thing is getting kicked out of a store, especially these days, people get kicked out of places all the time for nothing, basically no reason, like, oh, you're too white, you're showing that white privilege, we can't serve you here at Verizon, or whatever it is, okay? But back then, getting kicked out of places, you really, really had to, do some things, to get kicked out. And I remember, actually getting kicked out of Disney, that was like, one of those things where it's like, I'll never forget because of how embarrassing it was, the fact that you actually had to, walk out of there, or they were going to drag you ass out of there. So, yeah, it was pretty intense, pretty fun. But yeah, so, as I was looking at, these videos about, what's going on today at Disney, what was going on, with like how expensive it is and things like that. I was thinking to myself, I was talking to my friend, like, how is it that people can afford to go to Disney these days? Like, I mean, honestly, everything is just so crazy expensive. And you see, so many people at the park. That's one thing that the guy was making the video was talking about. The fact that, man, the park is, just as full as ever, if not more full than usual. And, he did some research and basically he was just, found out that even though Disney is hemorrhaging money and losing money, through the movies, through all that woke stuff, through all this other stuff, they're actually making gangbusters. They're making an insane amount of money through the parks. In fact, like 70% of all the revenue that Disney makes is from the theme parks, which to me was pretty crazy. And on top of that, they're breaking records. So even though they're raising the prices, they're making the experience shittier, which we're going to talk about in a second, and so on and so forth. More and more people are going to Disney parks these days than ever before. And so, another thing the guy was mentioning in the video, because again, I haven't been to Disney in like 15 years or whatever, but he was basically talking about the fact that, the Disney experience is so much crappier these days than it was before. Meaning that you're waiting for an hour and a half or longer, to ride a ride. So again, anyone that knows anything about Disney, it's like, you're going to Disney and you're going to go ride all the rides or go see all the things. And like, you got to go and wait in line. And they had these things called like Fast Pass, to allow you to go a little faster, whatever. Anyways, the point is that, you're probably waiting like, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, which was a lot to wait. But now these days, you're waiting like an hour, hour and a half, to ride a stupid ride, to go see It's a Small World or whatever, which was insane to me because it's like, damn, if you're in communist, Russia, the USSR, and you were waiting in a bread line for food, you didn't even have to wait that long, in communist Russia. And then people are willingly paying money to wait an hour and a half to just go see a bunch of animatronic animals, it's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. Anyway, so it's like insane to me. And then on top of that, the food is crappier because I remember the Disney parks, they used to have really good food. Yeah, sure, it was a little expensive, a little on the pricey side, but it's Disney food. And so I was like, oh my God, you're getting a giant turkey leg, or you go to one of the restaurants there and it was like a nice restaurant and yada, yada, yada. But these days, people going to Disney, and it's like, you might as well be going to the food court at the local mall. You know what I mean? They have better food at the food court than they do at Disney, and you're paying, $25 for, whatever, some mac and cheese and a sandwich or whatever, which is pretty insane to me. So, and then when you go to the merch store, how crazy expensive all that was as well. You go to the merch store and, they're asking for like, $100, to buy like a Mickey t-shirt or something. It's like, what? I could just get one on Amazon, for $20. But anyways, I digress. So not only has it been like crazy expensive, but they're making more money than ever before. And so I started thinking to myself, man, I wonder why that is. I wonder why, again, in this economy, with, people not having that much money or resources, to spend, why is it that the parks are making more money? They're selling more merch than ever before. This whole thing is like bigger business than it ever has been, ever. And, well, it didn't take me that long to kind of realize what's going on. So the reality is that in today's world, most people that are in, their 30s or 40s, some of them don't even have kids. And they're living in a very infantile world. Basically, I know I got a fake plastic horse here, all right? And I'm always kind of like messing around and fucking around with all that shit. But, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are like obsessed with Disney, or obsessed with Star Wars, or obsessed with Legos, or obsessed with whatever, to the point where you go to their house and their whole house is Disneymified. They got every piece of merch you can think of. Their whole house is filled with Legos or Star Wars memorabilia or whatever, all right? And, obviously, they don't have kids, and not only do they not have kids, but now on top of the fact that they don't have kids to spend all their money on the kids, well, they got to spend, they're going to spend it somewhere, so they spend it on themselves. A lot of people these days are very depressed, very sad, very whatever, and so what do? Well, they go back to being a kid again. And so that's why, they're 45 years old and, all they're doing is thinking about the next merch, the next Star Wars toy they're going to buy, or the next Lego set they're going to buy. And they're paying hundreds of dollars for some of these things. And again, why do they have so much disposable income? Well, because they don't got kids and a family to maintain. All right. And, but anyways, the point is that when you're going to the Disney parks these days, or you're going to a lot of these theme parks these days, That's what you're mainly seeing. You're seeing a bunch of adults, dressed up as, a fairy princess or as a Star Wars character. They're cosplaying, right? Or whatever. They're LARPing, and they're going to these parks and they're spending all their money, all their income on a lot of this stuff. And so that's where, again, that's how these people are, being able to afford this, I guess, which is kind of weird and kind of crazy. But it's a lot of adults. They're not going to these theme parks. Because, again, I'm 40 years old. My wife is 30-something years old, but it's like, we're not, that's not our thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if we're going to have a vacation, let's go to the beach. Hey, let's go to another part of the world. Let's go to another city. Let's go experience some real culture. The reason that we used to go to Epcot Center was because, well, going to another country was not that accessible, to us. It was way expensive. Some way that we could experience, these adult things, like going to another country, drinking some wine, whatever, getting into a fight, was by going to Epcot Center, all right? But now, we actually can do all that here in the, by just, going to another country, just having a passport, whatever. But, yeah, it was just very interesting and very weird, to kind of see that whole, like the whole situation as to how all that, plays out. So, all right, let me see. All right, let me read the chat real quick. Yeah, I don't know what else I'm going to talk about here. So, yeah, this might be a shorter episode, all right? Because I think I'm running on fumes here when it comes to Disney talk. I don't know. Maybe you guys in the chat can help me along, with some what is it? Some comments or some, whatever on Disney. Let me see. Naru Jalou says, I went to Disney in 2013 and someone's kid was eaten by a croc. Well, that's like a normal thing in Florida, if you get too close to a lake, a crocodile might just jump out of there and eat you or your kid. That's like a Florida thing more than anything else. But yeah, that happened. I remember that event, but I also remember that happens, more on a regular basis than you would think. All right. Again, as a Floridian, a kid getting too close to a lake and getting eaten by a crocodile, that's not really like shocking news. All right. But yeah, yes, I can concur that that's happened. All right. Public Service for the Truth says, it's funny, some people only wishes to get out of the dungeon underneath Disney and others want to get in. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's, so let's talk about that for a minute, okay? I'll talk about that in a second. Right? JLD says, after high school, my friends and I had season passes for a few years. It was a great place to hang out. Of course, I heard all the crazy stories many years later. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, that's another crazy thing. So like, for example, like remember, a lot of you guys know, I used to be a cook. I used to be in the service industry. I used to be in the hospitality industry. So for me, obviously, I had a lot of job offers, or I knew a lot of people that worked for Disney in one shape, form, or another, one capacity or another. Anyways, long story short, working for Disney or, any one of these parks or any one of these, things, it was like hell on earth. Now, yeah, granted, they paid a lot of money. They paid a lot of money for you to work for them. But, I mean, think about it. Think about the fact that, if, you already hate your job as it is, or it's very hard to deal with other humans, be in the service industry. People can be pretty shitty. It's already hard enough to deal with them, on a regular service industry job. But if you're working in Disney, oh my God, it's the next level. You always got to be smiling. You always got to be in a chipper mood. You always got to be in character. All right. So if you're a Disney princess, listen, you got to be a Disney princess for 12 hours straight. No chaser. All right. No breaks, no nothing. All right. And if you were basically, even if you were in the corn dog stand and serving corn dogs, you had to be in a great mood. You had to be in a Disney spirit. You had to be all of that, or else. Just like me and my girlfriend got kicked out of Disney, listen, they'll take your ass, they'll go to your corn dog stand, or your popcorn stand, mid shift. If all of a sudden, you were, a little too, a little too stern with one of the customers that was being an asshole, or, you weren't smiling for long enough, or whatever it is, they'll go up to to your stand and they'll drag your ass out of there, all right? Like, all right, that's it. You're not selling any more popcorn. Oh, today? No, you're not selling any more popcorn ever. Get out of here. We'll mail you your check. Yeah, so they were assholes, okay? They really did everything humanly possible to keep that whole kind of Disney vibe going. But with that being said, I mean, think about it. You couldn't break character ever. You can, in fact, the only people that can maybe break a little character without anyone knowing is if you were inside one of the giant Mickey costumes or Donald Duck costumes or Goofy or whatever, because, you know, you were in there and they couldn't see you. But again, you're in Florida, so think about it. You're in one of those hot mascot costumes, okay, in the Florida swamp heat. Okay, so it's like, yeah, you don't have to be smiling all the time because you're wearing a costume, but yeah, you know, you were always on the verge of a heat stroke or worse. Okay, just being in that costume, you know, for 12 hours straight or 8 hours straight or whatever it was. Okay, but yeah, so anyone that doesn't, so people that don't know too much about Disney, so Disney, what they did and how they build it is that they built, okay, so they built like a giant foundation first, and then on top of that, what they did is they built Disney on top of that foundation, and under that foundation is all this underground network of things. So long story short, I mean, man, I know I'm not explaining it correctly, but the Disney that you know of today is built above ground. Okay, so basically everything that's, you know, ground level is underground Disney. And so that's where all the employees work. That's where all the employees, you know, do their thing. That's where everybody gets stationed or moved around from the park to park, you know, from section to section, whatever it is, okay? But long story short, all of Disney, and I don't know about the other theme parks. I'm guessing all the other theme parks are as well, you know, Universal Studios, whatever, it's actually built above ground. Makes sense or no? Anyway, so they have like this whole giant underground tunnel system where, you know, that's basically for the employees. You know, it's kind of like a basement, but it's throughout the whole park. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, you know, long story short, you know what I mean? If you did not do your job correctly, they would drag your ass out of there and fire your ass like that. And so, like, that's why I never worked for Disney. And because, again, it was hard enough for me to just, you know, be in the kitchen alone, you know, and keep a smile on my face. You know, I was like the soup Nazi, all right? I was always like, you know, in that kind of a mood, in a sense, you know. I mean, I was nice and good, you know, whatever. I was pretty good cook, chef, you know, compared to other chefs that were even worse. But, you know, I was kind of like that, okay? That's why, you know, again, even though when I first started in the service industry, I started out as a busboy, a server, bartender, and all that stuff, but I didn't last that long because the more I came in contact with people, the more I realized I hate people and people suck. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the kitchen. And I work in the kitchen. I don't really have to see people in the kitchen. So, you know, that's why I did that. But, you know, even if you're working in the kitchen, even if you're working in whatever it is you're working at for Disney, oh my God, it was worse than you can ever imagine when it came to like how they treated you. You know, and they expected you to comply and, you know, again, take the shitty treatment and the shitty work hours and, you know, everything that came about with that because they paid very, very well and they had really, really, really good benefits and everything that came, you know, with all that. Because, you know, if you know anything about that industry, you know, being a cook, you know, you're being in the service industry, it's, you know, no bueno. You know, you get paid really bad, no benefits, no nothing. So Disney offered really good pay, really good benefits, really good everything. So a lot of people wanted to work those jobs, but, you know, the reality is that most people could not last working those jobs. In fact, you literally had to be crazy, literally had to be insane in order for you to work for Disney for a very long time. What do I mean? Well, if you are a person that likes to cosplay to the point where, hey, you're dressed up as a Disney princess all day, every day, in your own home, in your own neighborhood, and you're already acting like, you know, princess, whatever the hell, you know, out there, and you're living that kind of life in your head, well, yeah, for you, you know, working for Disney is easy. You know, are you kidding me? You know what I mean? They're just basically asking you to be crazy and cosplay, you know, LARPing, you know, all day for pay. But if you're not that crazy, you know, and you know, you cannot do that for longer than a few hours, oh my God, you're gonna hate it. And then when, like I said, if you're working in the kitchen, you're working underground, you're working all this other stuff, I mean, you might as well be working for the military. You know, you might as well be working for, you know, again, like the most intense, hardcore, you know, system that you could ever imagine. Yeah, because that's how Disney is. You know, I mean, there's a reason that they keep that magic. If you ever visited, I don't know, again, I don't know how it is these days, but if you ever visited any one of these theme parks back in the day, you know, it was a magical experience because it was like, wow, all these people, all of them, they were always in character. And they were, again, it didn't matter where you went, you know, they were acting just like the character from the movie or from the country that they were representing or whatever it is that they were doing. It was freaking awesome, man. It was super awesome. It really was. Because I remember, okay, so just going to Epcot Center for a second. So each pavilion, each area had, you know, was represented by, I mean, each pavilion was a representative of a country. But when you went to right to the middle, the country that was represented in the middle of the park was the USA. And the USA wasn't, it was represented like when you go to like Williamsburg, Virginia, you know, when you go and see how the colonial times was. Yeah. And so it was super cool because, you know, you used to go to the USA pavilion, which I loved, and you see people that were dressed and acted like people back from, you know, 1785 or 1812 or, you know, whatever, you know, from the birth of the country. And it was super cool and super awesome because you got to see all that. But again, think about it. You know, all these people had to act constantly like if they were, you know, stuck back in time like 200 years ago. So it was pretty insane, pretty nuts. The people that had like a little bit of a better time at it is like if you went to the Mexican pavilion and they hired Mexicans to, you know, be part of the pavilion. Well, it was like, you know, it was pretty easy for them. You know, it was just basically they got a bunch of Mexicans from Mexico City or wherever and then just brought them over there and be like, all right, just act like yourself. Or if you go to the France or the Germany pavilion, same thing. You know what I mean? They would just get a bunch of people. You had to be French. You had to be German. You had to be whatever, you know, it is from wherever country. And then basically they just dressed you up. And that's it. So when you went to the French pavilion, it was great because, you know, they got to be assholes there. You know, like sometimes the French are assholes, you know, when you go visit France. You know, the Germans, you know, well, they're German. But again, it wasn't like you or me that got to act German. No. They actually went and got real Germans, real Mexicans, real Australians, whatever it is, to act like that. The ones that had the most difficult time at it for the most part were the ones that were, again, like had to be in the Disney parks and you had to act like Aladdin, you know, for 8 hours straight, or like Mickey Mouse or Princess whatever, you know, and all this other stuff. I mean, it's pretty crazy, man. And especially when you know, when you're young, when you're a kid, yeah, whatever, you know, you're not really looking into that. But once you're like, you know, kind of working for a living and you kind of understand all that a little better, you're like, holy crap, are you kidding me? Because it's bad enough. It's bad enough to, you know, again, maintain composure when you're at your shitty job, wherever it is. You know, most of the time it's like that show, The Office, right? So imagine you having to, you know, be a character and remain in that character for every day. And then on top of that, it's you know, just when you were done with your shift, you were whisked away and you were basically living in these living quarters, you know, with the other people that worked there and other characters. And I mean, it was nuts. It was nuts. All right. And again, I never experienced it myself, but I had plenty of friends that did work at one point or currently worked for, you know, the Disney parks, the Disney cruises, you know, any of these Disney things. And it was insane because, by the way, when, you know, I don't know how it is for the other theme parks, but I never really, you know, got to hear that the other theme parks were that crazy or that intense. You know, they were, when you go to Universal Studios, you know, it's just like you're going to the fair, you know, people weren't really in character per se. It was just a bunch of employees and you had to be extra nice. That's it. But when you were in Disney, no. It was all part of the experience, you know, where everybody, you know, there was an employee there had to be Disney-mified. You know what I mean? So again, think about how, you know, that can fuck with your mind, you know, if you're just a regular person, you know, trying to get a paycheck, you know. You had to be in character all the time. I mean, it was pretty crazy, pretty intense. So, yeah, that's pretty nuts. All right, let me see. Shout out to everyone watching out there. Hope you guys are enjoying today's video. today's live stream. When I first, kind of wrote down the idea, for what today's, show was going to be about. In my head, I thought it was going to be great. I thought we were going to go like a full hour, and it was going to be a lot better than what it's actually turned out into. Because I'm here, and I feel like I'm bombing on stage. Like a comedian bombs. I feel like I've been bombing for like an hour straight here, which is pretty nuts. Because usually, if you're a comedian, you're bombing for a few minutes, and you're getting off stage. But out here, I got to be here for at least an hour, and I feel like I've been bombing for like the last 50 minutes. Which is, pretty rough. Pretty rough, all right? So hopefully you guys are enjoying the show, and the bomb hasn't been too much, all right? It hasn't been too much of a, disaster. So anyways, please help me out in the chat. Let me know what else you guys want me to discuss when it comes to all this. If you don't, we're going to just take a quick tour of Kissimmee and the Disney area so I can show you what it's like, all right? Here, let's bring this out on the map. So you can get an idea. All right, hold on a second. Okay, so check this out. Let me move my head over there to the other side. Okay, okay. So as you guys can see there, so let's zoom out real quick. All right, so you guys can see Florida. So again, think about it. I used to live all the way down there in Miami. You see, all the way down there. And so we used to drive all the way up there, okay, to go to, or again, Kissimmee, Orlando, Disney, all right, to go to the Disney area. So look at where Kissimmee is, okay? Look at that. Kissimmee is all the way down here. You guys can see, look, Kissimmee, all right? That's Old Town. That's Celebration, St. Cloud. Kissimmee, St. Cloud area, St. Cloud, Florida, Kissimmee, Old Town. But see, over here, look, so you can get an idea, okay? All this area over here, this is where the parks are, okay? Look, here, there's the Magic Kingdom, you see? So you can get an idea of where it is, all right? And look at where Orlando is, okay? So that's why, again, if you were visiting, from Florida especially, if you're visiting, a lot of times you would stay in the Kissimmee area, okay? Because, again, look how close it is to the parks. Why stay in Orlando where Orlando was expensive? Okay, here, I'll show you a little bit of Orlando. All right, hold on. Let me, where's International Drive? Haven't been here in such a long time. Is it? I think this is intro. Oh yeah, okay. So is this no? Hold on, let me see. Damn, what's that place that's like a theme park but it's upside down? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me have a little brain fart here. I think it was Bizarre something. Hold on. No, that's not it. Yeah, let's go back to Kissimmee. Oh, you know what? I know. Sizzler. Maybe Sizzler. I don't even know if there's any Sizzlers still left. Let's look for Sizzlers. Oh, yeah, there are Sizzlers. All right, there we go. Permanently closed. Oh, jeez. Where's International Drive? Is that International Drive? No. All right, okay, let me see. Okay, so we're going to look at, so where's Kissimmee again? Okay, the permanently closed. Wow. That sucks. See, I'm never going back again, right? That's the only reason. And by the way, a lot of times the only reason we would go is to go to Sizzler. I'm trying to find a specific one. Oh, there it is. I think there it is. Boom, found it. That's it. That's the one. That's the one. All right, hold on a second. So once, once I was, Once I was in my early 20s and I was making a few more bucks and stuff like that, we wouldn't stay in Kissimmee that much anymore. We would move and like, all right, let's stay in, Yeah, this is it. You know, let's stay in Orlando. Let's stay in the International Drive area. All right, let's see. Let's see what this place looks like now. Let me see. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there it is. So look at that. See, look, that's where the Sizzler was, right there. See? Right there. I remember staying at the hotel. Yeah, see, it's like shut down already. Yeah, probably COVID probably killed it off. But anyways, so I stayed at this hotel back here. No, there's a Sizzler. No, that's Pizza Hut. But there's a hotel back there, and that's where I stayed. I think that was where I was. I don't know if that was where we were staying when we got kicked out. See this little area here. You see? But see, look, this is like Orlando. It's nice. See, look, this hotel right there. That was a nice hotel. I don't know what it is like today. Rosen Inn. So that's like, yeah, $60 a night, $70 a night to stay there. And then look at that. Look at that. Pretty terrible, terrible. Yeah, man. Wow, memories, man. I haven't been there in such a long time. So how about this? Let's so down here, if you keep driving down this road here, there's a McDonald's. Which there, look, this McDonald's right here. This is the biggest McDonald's in the whole country. This McDonald's right here. Look at this. Isn't that crazy? Look at, they have like an arcade inside that McDonald's. Look at that huge play area. Look at that, the employees. They make pizzas there. They have all kinds of interesting things. That's a McDonald's. Look at that. Oh, see, look, they even have like a, you see, look, like a fish tank in the McDonald's. Pretty fancy. Look, they have an ice cream machine that actually works. Look at that. Look at that, there's a fish tank. Look at that. See, they make pizzas there. It's all fancy and stuff. Look at that. Look at that. Cakes. All kinds of things. Look at that. Fancy, fancy McDonald's. But yeah, so this is like the Orlando area, which is a lot nicer than the Kissimmee area. In fact, let's go to Kissimmee real quick so you can get a comparison real quick. As to like... And so, like, you know, obviously, the more expensive hotels and the more desirable areas of Kissimmee you wanted to stay at is, like, you know, closer to the parks, you know, closer to the left, you know, closer to where you see my head over there, right? But, you know, let's see. Where's the Walmart? Home Depot? Maybe it's over here. No, that's... yeah, let me see. Walmart. Yeah, obviously, you know, Walmart, you know, you already know it's not... You know, Mickey Mouse ain't shopping at Walmart. Is this it? Was this it? No, I don't think this is it. Maybe. No. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. This place is abandoned now. Wow. Wow, it's changed so much. So back there... That was like, hold on a second. Let's come back out. So anyways, look at this. Yeah. So back here, I think, okay, so these whole, yeah, Village Inn, is this it? Wow, it's changed a lot. I think some of this stuff has been, you know, renovated. But some of these places, you know, they were like, I mean, run down. You know, some of these places were like $10. I remember... Like, okay, you know what? This is how we started ending up going to Orlando and staying at the hotel that I just showed you at, is because I remember one of the last times that we stayed in Kissimmee, we stayed at, you know, one of these $10 budget, you know, hotels. And, you know, it was all good during the day, but then at nighttime, it was basically, you know, a crack den, you know, crack houses everywhere. It was no bueno. It was hood as fuck. And I'm from Miami. All right. And, you know, if it was too hood for me, it was too ghetto for me, you can only imagine how bad it actually was. Holy crap. So, I don't know, man. I mean, I think it was around here. But anyways, yeah, long story short, you know, let's just, I'm trying to find some spots, you know, some random spots in Kissimmee. See, look at that. So yeah, things are getting a little nicer. You know, they've been Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Pretty intense. It's pretty. Look at those huge highways, man. Yeah, let's look at the quality in suites. Okay, look at these hotels. Okay. Wow, look how that's pretty crazy expensive. No, the hotel that was all the way in Orlando, the one that I just showed you now, had cheaper rates than these. These are expensive for today. Look at this. This is a little cheaper. It's like this is all in pesos, man. I apologize, right? So, but you're paying like $60 for something like this. And by the way, it looks a lot crappier in person. All right, let's see. But anyways, so Kissimmee, man. It's crazy, yeah. Kissimmee is not what it used to be. It's changed a lot. You know, Old Town. You know, where was Old Town again? There's another Walmart there, I think. Yeah, hold on. All right, let me. I don't know what you guys are. Yeah, Old Town's all the way over here. So I'm trying to find some areas you can kind of see a little bit. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so that's... And by the way, this is kind of crazy seeing so little traffic right now. I mean, this is probably shot during COVID or something, you know? During the pandemic, I guess. I don't know, November 2022. Okay, June 2011. Okay, wow, look at it, June 2011. You can see what it looked like when we went there. I wonder when this was shot. It was like so abandoned and like dead. Look at that. See, look, that's like a gift shop. That was terrible. 2021. Wow. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, damn, I don't know. This is not really a museum of military history. What the hell? So anyways, all right, let me see what you guys have to say. Oh, Lance says he worked at Epcot for 7 years. Oh, awesome. Tell us how it was. How was the experience? And where did you work in Epcot? What pavilion and what did you do at Epcot? Yeah, Sizzler's out of business, man. This kind of sucks. DB Goodman says, my buddies from work and I used to hit the Sizz on a regular, and I was interning at the Cool Talent Management company in Beverly Hills called The Firm. Wow, okay. Yeah, the McDonald's is still there. Yeah, the McDonald's is still kicking. Yeah, I wish, you know, there was like some, I wish that, you know, Google had like a thing where you could kind of drive around, you know, or maybe just show you. See, look, that's like a hotel back there. Comfort Inn, Smoke Shop, IHOP. Okay, there we go. It's like an intersection with more trailers. You want to buy a trailer? Camping World. But yeah, look how huge these streets are. So yeah, that's why I'm kind of surprised not seeing that much traffic out here. Because, again, there's a reason why they have these humongous roads and all that shit. Oh, Perkins! Perkins. See, look, if you go to Perkins, you'll get your, you know, autographed Tiger Woods doll to go with it. So, I feel like it's a little quiet. Let's play a little. But you can see like how big and how, you know, everything. So yeah, you can't. You gotta have a car. You can't be walking around any of these areas. There's just like a tiny little spot area out of that whole big map. But yeah, all these are the Disney parks up here. You see? There's Epcot, Disney. Want to go to the Gaylord Palms? The Gaylord Palms. Look, that's expensive. Look at that. No, look at that. It's like, really, man? That doesn't look that much better than what we were just looking at there. Oh, wow. Okay, that's pretty nice. But still, $5. That's like $300 a night. Might as well stay at the Disney. Might as well stay at the Disney resorts for that price. Is that part of the Disney resorts? I don't know. Anyways, all right. Let me see. Lance. Rip to the Sizzler. Lance says, I worked the rides out. It was back in the 80s and 90s. Listen to the land boat ride journey into the imagination and spaceship Earth. Awesome. I operated the rides and greeted the guests. It was fun but miserable in the summer when I had to be outside. What's the best food in Florida that you miss? Cuban food, man. Like Cuban food. But again, nothing up here. You know, the food that I miss from Florida is all the way down in Miami, all right? So I miss, a lot of the food. But, it's funny because I still, follow a lot of, social media stuff, from Florida, from Miami. And even the people complain about, like, it's not what it used to be. See, where I grew up, and, where my mom lives, which is in Hialeah, that's like a Cuban enclave. You know what I mean? It's just all Cuban, all whatever. So they still have, like, all the stuff that, I grew up with and I miss from back in the day. So I would say, basically Cuban food. Latino food, Latin food, That's what I miss. So... But anyways, yeah, Orlando, man, it's pretty, the whole thing is, where's the McDonald's? Hold on a second. Let's go back to that area. Hey, come on. Jeez. Come on. What do you... Hey. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. So yeah, this whole area, like, of Orlando, at the end of the day, once we started staying, in this part of, the Orlando area instead of staying in the Kissimmee area, it's like, the only time we would go to Kissimmee was to go to Old Town. But that's it. Other than that, we would start staying up in this area because up in this area, it was just nice. This is where, like, they had the convention center. I remember later on, I went to, like, a comic book convention up here, and I got to meet Kevin Smith, before he went crazy. Back when Kevin Smith was still like kind of like a nobody. And, a bunch of cool things like that. Okay, so that's the McDonald's there. And that's International Drive. Oh, there we go. Okay, so look, so like around here. Oh, there it is. Okay, look at this. This place was awesome, man. If you were drunk and you're in your, what is it, in your early 20s, this is the spot right here. What was it called? Fun Spot or whatever the hell it's called. Look at that. Go-karts, amusement park rides, alligators, monster trucks. Look at that. Good stuff. Good times. But yeah. So that's the thing. You could go to this whole area up here, and you didn't have to go to the Disney parks. Again, there's just so many things to do. Like I said, riding go-karts. Getting drunk, go-kart crashes. Doing that. The water bumper cars or whatever the hell that was. So. Yeah, man. But yeah, look, that's like a sky view of the whole area. Looking at a beautiful Florida sunset. Oh, man. Great memories. So yeah, there's all kinds of things out here, But anyways, yeah. I sure, I'm not going to lie. If I ever go back to Florida to visit, or see my mom or my family out there, and I'm bringing Christian with me, I definitely got to bring her up here so she can experience, Americana, like the real, America, you know, and that kind of shit, you know, because it was pretty fucking nuts, man. If you've never been out here, you definitely got to come visit out here. You know, if you're in the USA, you got to come out here and visit this area. I'm trying to find where the where some of the there, the convention center. There it is. Okay, so out here they had some really nice hotels. There you go, like the Hilton, the Peabody. You know, some of these. Hilton's pretty cheap. Look at that. DoubleTree. Yeah, these are pretty expensive. Look at that. They're pretty cheap, man. That's not bad. Like $100 a night. Look at that. How's the DoubleTree? Look at that. The DoubleTree is the same price as the fucking Holiday Inn, man. Actually, yeah, it's the same price. It's crazy. Wow. The SeaWorld. You know, you want to see Lolita. You want to see some killer whales. Yeah, these are all the resorts. See, it's just resort after resort after resort after resort. Yeah, man. Pretty crazy times. Anyways, all right, man. All right, guys. I think, you know, we've kind of ran this episode into the ground. Hopefully you guys had a good time, you know, going down memory lane here and enjoying. But see, look, by the way, you can stay anywhere from like the Marriott to the Hilton, you know, to a Holiday Inn, to the Sheraton. And they're all basically around the same price. Look at this. Look, Marriott Resident Inn. Look at that. 1,400 pesos. It's like $75 a night. $100 a night. Pretty crappy. But anyways, yeah, man. Wow. Pretty insane. Just kind of taking a little trip down memory lane down here. Haven't been here in such a long time. Dave & Buster's, oh man. That's the convention center. I think, yeah, this is where I went to go. Yeah. See, look, that's where, like, 20 years ago, I went to a comic book convention there. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, man. I remember this place. Yeah, man. Wow. That's crazy. But they have some really nice hotels around here. I wonder, because I remember most of these hotels are pretty open. So, you know, sometimes, you know, things that we would do is just go into the hotel lobbies, you know, and just, you know, experience amazingness without ever having to. Let me see, is a Peabody? Is that even a thing? Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Oh, okay, boom, I was way off. Look at that. How expensive is that? No, it's a heliport. The Peabody heliport. Is there? They don't even have hotel? There it is. Okay, there it is. No? Oh, there's no more Peabody Hotel? Huh. Interesting. But yeah, that was a really expensive hotel. I remember that. I was just curious to see how much they went for these days. But yeah, it was around here, around this area. But yeah, anyways, all right. I'm kind of running on fumes here. I don't even know what else to talk about. Interesting. I don't know, maybe show this view. Yeah, let's check out Disney from this view. There's a Disney Parks. Where's that? There it is. Look at that. See, look, that's the Epcot Center. So look, our good friend out there. Did I ever go to Medieval Times? Yeah, man. Yeah. Fuck. I haven't been there in a million years. Yeah, but I think when I went to Medieval Times was like 20 years ago. But okay, Epcot Center. He used to work at Spaceship Earth. So look, he used to work there. Oh, that's what that was called. I used to just call it the Big Ball. I don't know. It actually obviously had a name. But he used to work in there. That's pretty awesome, man. Wow. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, man. That's cool. You got Lance representing the big ball Lance. That's right. That's what we got big ball Lance in the house. All right.
Bruh.
But where were the pavilions? Okay, look at the parking lot. Look at that. So imagine that. Okay, look at the park. Okay, this is the park. Okay, and this is the pavilions. See, look, this is what I was talking about. Look, the France pavilion, Japan pavilion. You know, the USA pavilion was right here. America's Gardens. Look at this. Oh man. Look at that. The American Adventure. Anyways, all right. Not many good pictures there. But yeah, so like, look at all these. The Italian pavilion, the Germany pavilion, United Kingdom, Canada. Yeah, so you come in through here and then go to all the pavilions. The Mexican pavilion. Yeah, some of these have not changed in like 20 plus years. Yeah, remember the Canadian pavilion was like the first one and the Mexican pavilion was the last one. Or some shit like that. Yeah, we used to always start with Canada and go all the way around. China was around here. Yeah, Mulan, so I guess that's China. I guess they changed it to Mulan instead of China since, you know, China. But anyways, okay, so look, that's the size of the park, right? Get this, okay, look at that. Look at the size of the park, right? And look, this is the cast parking lot, so it doesn't count. But anyways, that's the size of the park. All right, now check out the parking lot. So we got kicked out of there. All right, we got kicked out of that park. And then look at the parking lot. So imagine, you know, look at that, bro. It's fucking nuts. So yeah. Look at that. Look, the parking lot is bigger than the park itself. So. Oh yeah. Memories. Okay, so when you enter the park, so you see, like, you leave the parking lot and then you go into the park through here. All right, that's the ball. You know, Big Ball Lance used to work there. All right, and then you kind of walked, around this area here. They had like a bunch of little rides, a bunch of shit going on here. And see, like, I guess like a new ride, Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever. The test track. This is one of the last rides that we would do on the way out. Anyways, whatever. So, and then this was the part that we, the coup d'etat, the good part, which was these pavilions right here. But man, it would take you all day. It will literally take you all day to like go around through all this area here. And like I said, look at the parking lot. So again, imagine getting kicked out of the park, and then you and your partner are lost, and you don't know where each other are, and you got no cell phones, and you got to find each other. Yeah, anyways. So that happened. And then these are the other parks. Okay, so this is one of the resorts, I guess. So you can stay. Oh my God, look at that, a night. So that's like $550, $600 a night to stay at that resort. If you want to stay at the Disney resort that's right on the park property, it's like $600 a night. Pretty nice. But geez, it's expensive. And then let's see the other parks. See, look, this Disney's Hollywood Studios, the Star Wars Adventure, I guess, right? Or no, Star Tours. There's a Star Wars thing, right? Yeah, so this is. Oh yeah, there's a Star Wars stuff. Look. Yeah, but this is all new, man. None of this was here when I was going. What the hell? What the hell is this? Jeez. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is this? Oh my goodness. Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're our only hope. Look at that. But yeah, man, I mean, the thing about these parks and all this cool stuff is that you really do feel like you're there. So I guess you would be like an Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm sorry, or was it Obi-Wan? I'm not a Star Wars person. I don't know anything, right? Alderaan, is that it? Is that a Star Wars thing? Anyways. So I guess that's the So again, the Disney Hollywood, because MGM Grand, there used to be MGM Grand, but I guess it turned it into Star Wars. And then these are just resorts over here. Let me see. What are the other parks? Okay, there's the Disney park. Right? No way. See, they covered that up. That's interesting. They don't want you to see. Maybe that's something else. Where's Walt Disney World? The actual Disney World. Oh, whatever. Oh, there, Magic Kingdom. There it is. There's a Magic Kingdom right there. Yeah, so you see how much smaller it is? Interesting. Look at all these parking lots. Yeah, so you would park here. So you park your car here, and then like a monorail would take your ass all the way over here to the park. Or some shit like that. Anyways. Wow, man. Interesting. Haven't been here. God, I see. Look, honestly, I haven't been to this park since I was like a kid. So maybe like 30 years since I went here. 30 or 25 years ago since I went to this park. Wow. Thunder Mountain, right? Yeah. All right. You guys enjoying today's episode? Geez, I'm sorry. I feel like this is a really crappy live stream today. Anyways, all right, guys. I think that's it. I think how long have we been doing this? All right. Wow, an hour and 20 minutes. All right. It started to pick up steam there towards the end. But yeah, again, this whole area, like, I mean, think about it. Like how crazy this whole area. Okay, look how big it is. Okay, is all like a Disney themed, or like a theme park. The whole thing is just like a touristy thing. Look how huge it is. Because if you look at it, it's like bigger than the Tampa area. Tampa, St. Petersburg area. It's bigger than the Miami area. It's kind of crazy, huh? Yeah. Lake Okeechobee. Wow. It's kind of crazy, too, how big it's gotten. Because, again, I remember, when I was a kid going up here, a lot of this was not developed. And most of this has been developed in the last, 20 years, really. It's been like a giant boom in the last, 20 years, 15 years. It's kind of crazy. Charles Bronson Wildlife Reserve. Yeah, that's right. The Charles Bronson. It's kind of crazy. But anyways, Orlando. Yeah, man. Let's look at some pictures of Orlando as we, wind it down here. Oh, look, some video. Okay. Look at that, Universal. Oh, yeah, there's some of the buildings I was trying to look for there. Downtown Orlando, I guess, here. Or I think that area is by the convention center. Look at that. Some of the theme parks, I think. Ratatouille. Yeah, see, look, that's like around the convention center, I think, downtown. Look at that. The princess lives there. So, yeah. All right, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. DB Goodman says, you'll have to share some Miami stories. Oh, I will. Today was just like a test. A little test on the stories, test stream, talking about stories. It seems like it went pretty good. It went all right. We got to do better job at that. But, again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show today. Yeah, you definitely got to be plastered to really enjoy it. Oh, yeah, this place is, yeah, so there was a water theme park. I don't know if it's still around. It probably still is. A water-themed, what is it? A water-themed amusement park. Wow, what was that called? Maybe Lance remembers. See, like that's in the convention center area. I think one of the theme parks there. one of the hotels, one of the theme parks. Waterworks, is that it? No, that's something else. Magic Kingdom. That's downtown. That's one of the, that's one of the Disney parks for sure. Look at that. Another Disney park. Look at that from the sky view. But yeah, man, Florida's beautiful, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a proud Floridian, no matter what. And look at that. That's downtown. 2016. Look at that. That's an old picture. Yeah. But anyways, look at that. Look at from the helicopter or plane view, 2016. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Going along memory lane here. So, Hard Rock Cafe. I think there might be Downtown Disney or something. Yeah, Downtown Disney was a free park. Look at that. Good stuff. A lot of construction still. 2017, there's still construction going on, you see? There's always construction going on out here. What's that? Chocolate factory? Oh man, it must be something new, I guess. Anyways. Alright guys, I'm running on fumes here. I gotta get out of here, gotta get going. Hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. You already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Like Margaritaville. Oh man, but anyways, you already know the deal. Don't forget to like, oh look at that. Okay, hold on. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And by the way, if there's any kind of, topics or themes or whatever that you might want me to talk about in a future show, leave down below in the comments. By the way, leave down below in the comments what you thought of today's episode, and if you're liking the show so far, and if there's anything in particular you want me to maybe discuss or talk about, because I know there's like a lot, to cover, and I would love to, talk about things. So far we talked about rats addicted to selfies. That was episode 1. Episode 2 was Americans cannot cook. Episode 3, which was last week, is being boring is all the rage. This episode was getting thrown out of Disney. Is not what it used to be. And we'll see what we're going to talk about next week. All right. But again, if you have any suggestions, drop them in the suggestion box, and we'll go from there. I did not go to Pleasure Island. I talked about Pleasure Island already. But because I'm from Miami, so, come on. I could just go to South Beach or, do a bunch of other things, It wasn't appealing to me to go all the way to Orlando, to do what I could have done in my backyard. You know what I'm saying? The reason we went out there was because it was very different from everything that we had in Miami. But anyways, yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I definitely had fun. We're definitely gonna get better at this, slowly but surely. Where it's a work in progress. But I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And it seems like 13 votes, and a lot of you guys have been to Sizzler. So, yeah, that's right. Yeah, basically, I grew up in Miami Vice in the 80s. I was born in 1981, so you can only imagine. Right in the middle of Scarface and all that shit. So, yeah, man, crazy times. All right, guys. Love you guys. Hope you guys had a wonderful time today. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Tomorrow, I got an episode, dropping on the channel. So this week we got 2 episodes. I got on the regular Mexico channel. All right. I have whatever. Anyways, I got 2 videos. I got a video for tomorrow. I got a video on Sunday, and we got the live streams next week, and so on and so forth. So, all right, guys, look at that. Beautiful state of Florida. All right, guys. Thanks again for watching. I love you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Thanks for joining me, and see you guys later. Bye, guys.